Today we are drawing from our imagination, which is a very scary thing, but I don't mean to boast, but I've got loads of scraps of paper here, and it can't be scary to ruin a scrap of paper, can it? Well, we'll see, because it can still be scary. But all these scraps of paper are a fantastic opportunity. So I'm going to push them to one side, apart from my nice little one here. So I'm going to be trying to draw a series of urban scenes from my imagination. And I'm going to focus on my normal kind of style. And all I'm thinking is, ooh, what's happening here? There's a little up and down, a little triangle. So now we've ended up with a tower, haven't we? Could be a church. So let's go with that idea. I'm going, it's a bit flat, isn't it? We need a bit more depth. So let's put a little tower behind as well. So it's exploring what might be happening. What's going along here? Well, let's make it nice and simple. We'll have a sort of a couple of trees coming off to the side. And there we go. It's a very abstract thing, but it's a thing from my imagination. When I look at it again with little squinty eyes, perhaps I can find some shadows, add a couple more windows, add a kind of big gateway. Churches have always got these very grand doors, haven't they? And a little bit of hatching. And let's have something fun. They'll have these trees aren't my fun bit. We'll have a path that leads us through the scene. And that also fills up our foreground. So I'm just thinking, what could be fun to add in here and there? And there you go. One scene done. But I guess, why don't we just play around with our colours as well? So, bash out my little palette. Got it here. Same colours as normal. And I'm just going to try really minimal things. So I don't overwork it, so I don't waste all my time and discover my imagination's not that good. So let's go actually. Let's try something silly. We'll just go one colour for this. So I'm just going to put a light wash of red in a couple of places, including into those trees. Those trees are going to be a bit deeper because they're going to sort of contrast against the church. That's the aim. A bit more deep red in there. Get that flowing. Very nice. And then I said one colour, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to put some yellow in there as well, coming along the path. And that yellow can kind of... What if we just splash it into the sky? What if we just do that? Yeah, it works okay, doesn't it? Little splash here, little splash there. Let's get an orange. Why not? Let's get an orange. That just add a little bit more depth. And you know what's missing? Pop that away. Going to bring in a nice bold pen here. Contrast in the windows. That's all we need. A little bit of contrast in the windows and the doors. Now don't forget to sign all your doodles, because although they're not important, they're just a way to relax, a way to practice sketching with imagination. It's important that you own them. So what's next? Let's try and do something different. So I went straight up in the sky. I liked the idea there of drawing a church. Clearly, that's what was in my head. Let's do like a more of a. I like the idea of a farmhouse. Again, what's simple? What have I done lots of? So a farmhouse is going to have like a old crinkly roof. So we'll get loads of texture in there. Let's get I don't know what that roof's made of, but it's made of something. Maybe wood. Sounds like a bad idea for a roof, doesn't it? Get some nice windows in there. It won't be a proper farmhouse without some kind of domineering fence in the way. And then we need another window over here. Right, I'm going to give my pen a break. Come up, because I wasn't sure where I was going. What I think, this has become a very short farmhouse, and that's okay. And we'll just make it like that's the annex. Maybe that's where my grandma lives. It's got a little outhouse that she stays in my farmhouse. So my new my new entrance is going to emerge here. Little sort of porch. Not sure if that makes sense, sticking outside the house, but it's where it is now. The house is feeling a bit lonely, so what can we do? Let's give it some hills behind. There we go. It's a nice big, I don't know if it's a hill or like quite a large mountain. Sort of, maybe it's the Matterhorn almost. It's a big pokey out thing. And then some simple hatching. Actually, I quite like that as well. That one's worked well. This is empty though, isn't it? So what we can do, a little bit of flicking lines in there. Make this bolder. There you go. I think that's the thought process over. Let's splash on some colours. So I'm going to use a bigger brush this time. That last one, didn't quite control things. Well, no, it was too controlled. I could control things too much, so I did. But what happens if we take just a nice bit of green over here? Nice bit of green, and just float that through the scene. Got a bit of a neutral mix going on in here, which can just dull down the background a bit. So we've now got like a distant set of hills, close up interesting grass. And there we go. Anything else? Should we do a bit of blue for once? I say for once. It's only the one scene I didn't do blue in. Let's do some blue going in up here. Okay. Now, let's try putting these to a side. And what I've done so far is very much like organic drawing. Organically trying to pretend I know what I'm doing. This time I'm going to do it like from basic principles, which is basically, for me, it's always shapes. So how can we build? Let's say we've got a cityscape. Well, let's just build in shapes. We'll have a rectangle. We'll then have like a triangle. We'll have a square behind that, maybe a square and a circle. We'll have another triangle here, and some kind of like angled off surface there. And from here, now we can like look. So we haven't imagined this, we've just done it, named some shapes. But now we can kind of look and start imagining. So instead of having to just dreaming up on the spot, we've got a sort of predetermined scene in front of us. And now I'm going to add in some hatching. So my idea here was trying to break those shapes apart a bit. I think I thought this was a sort of a skyscraper of some sort as well. You know, you've got all the windows coming across. I don't know if that's worked or not. Why don't we add some, like, there's always like lots of things coming off the top, aren't there? What's going on here? How do we make this make sense? Maybe with a load of roofs. So we get some rooftops, some windows, and this just comes down a little bit more. We end up with a road going back there. Perhaps this is more like a block of flats. So let's block in some of these windows. So it's not a skyscraper. That didn't make sense with my other shape. It's a block of flats. That makes a lot more sense now, I think. That means, what's this? What is this in the background? Well, it could just be a tree, couldn't it? Can we do something more interesting? I don't know. Let's follow this shape. I reckon if we do this a couple of times, let's bring it around here as well. Have you got like a mini London Eye, like a Ferris wheel going on? We just got a clock in the background of our scene. Right, I'm leaving that for now. To be determined. Now this definitely could be a tree as well, but I think it's going to become some kind of modern architecture. A bit like the Shard, isn't it, really? So let's give it some windows and move on. Here, this can be some more housing creeping in behind our shard-like building, and I actually think that makes it work a bit better. As soon as I did that, then what's over here? Well, look, we can just change our shape. We can have some kind of, I don't know, I'm thinking like a town hall. The town hall's always got these pillars. What's the word for them? Are they just pillars? They're kind of Roman pillars anyway, with a grand entrance. Some kind of statues on here. Bring that there. What's over here? It's another blooming Ferris wheel, isn't it? I'm going to just, I'm going to give up on making the other Ferris wheel work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2 of them in the scene. Because it's got to be intentional if there's 2 of them, right? But then I think if I hatch it like I did that, just sort of sends it back into the distance. So that could be anything. You win some, you lose some, eh? That's why we're doing this on scraps or paper. Because stuff will go wrong. Let's have a person. We'll have a little person in the front. You'll notice the horizon line isn't right for any keen observers, but that's all right. Maybe this whole city's on a grand slope. Now, I'm not going to pop any colour on this one yet. What I'm going to do, I've just seen this one's looking a bit on the flatter side. So, I'm going to unflatten it with another touch of colour. Will this work? Who knows? But I'm just interested in this whole thing just to sort of see if I can make bizarre different ideas magically come together. I think that works all right. It's just got something else about it, hasn't it? A little bit of grey in there, in the house. Yeah, keep that simple. Keep it simple. Come on, we'll get that. Our gallery of mini scenes is gradually building. Okay, next. Well, you can see that's what's on the back of this. Not going to include that. That's too much for my brain. What are we going to do here, though? Well, let's do the same idea, but we'll do them really loopy. We'll probably end up with some kind of landscape. So we'll have like a loop here, come around there, loop here, some kind of cylinder maybe. Yeah, being very continuous liney. And what can we make of this? Well, I've already weighted the decision, haven't I? I've said some kind of landscape. So here, what's this going to be? Some kind of tower for sure. It could be a silo, couldn't it? Let's make it I don't know what a silo looks like. We'll make it a pipey structure. Have some bushes and things in front of it. That means this shape becomes probably a house. I think we've managed to cheekily make that emerge. Do some dark ink this time. This house, I'm going to remember the door. So I know, very clever. Very clever of me. We'll have another nice wall in there. Okay, but that means this. Probably a tree, isn't it? There we go, a nice tree. Little tree in the front. Whole like little hedgerow of trees. Hedgerow of trees? Is that right? Anyway, it is now. And with these trees, we'll have some just overlapping behind. Gives us a bit of depth. We'll have little, same marks, little leading lines coming through. I don't know why I've just put a window in my blooming silo. Maybe it's a vent. A little bit of shadow. And I'll just try and make the shadow make sense with our house as well. Something like that. The trees can also, I think, then have shadow on that side. Oh, you know what this is though? I said that was a tree, but becomes some kind of, look at that little pig frolicking through our scene. Doesn't make sense that it's a pig, does it? They don't sort of frolic, but it's a pig now. Let's add some colour to this one. I know we didn't for our complicated one before, but we're going to do some colour on this. And I'm going to be a bit more traditional. I'm going to take a giant brush though, and then be traditional. And when I say traditional, I mean a blue sky. So pop in a nice rich sky. That's probably a bit too rich, so a bit more water. We'll just move it around a bit. Like so. And then that blue, I just want to use somewhere else. In the shadows, for example. obviously, I said traditional, so let's get some green working for us. That's going to be our trees, I call our hedgerow of trees. And I don't mind this joining together at all. In fact, I think it's probably quite important to keep the ideas fluid, having some of the colours sort of blending between the shapes. Get a shadow under our piggy chap. Then, where are we going with this? Small brush time, I think. Let's keep it simple, really simple colours. So we'll get a kind of yellow in on the building, and I'm going to use some of that yellow elsewhere as well. And we'll kind of go primary colours. I think it's a kind of cutesy scene, so primary colours will feel quite nice. Just get a red becoming orange because it's mixed with that yellow, just flowing along our silo with a window, presumably because that's where we keep Grandma in this scene, eh? Trapped in the grain silo. And then deeper greens in a few places. All kind of wet on wet painting here. Alright. I don't like the house. I have to live with it. Just trying to pull out a bit of colour. And then let's try something more earthy. Literal lunar earth here. And a little bit of Indian red. So we're hopefully going to end up with more like a brick coloured house. We can have the same colour on the pig thing as well, with a tiny bit of red to make it a little pink. So it's possibly a pig, possibly some other weird animal. Okay. I feel like that's the most successful so far. I don't know if that's a high barrier or not, though. I suspect that's only a medium barrier. Next, I want to try something different. So I'm gonna give myself some fragments to work from. So like just a couple of lines, and then see what happens. So here, you could incorporate the lines, which is my plan, but don't have to totally just trust them. And I don't know if my brain just did them on purpose, but they pointed together, didn't they? They were forming a triangle. Let's make it more interesting. Let's make it like it's got facets, it's got different sides. And then, I'll tell you what, my brain's instantly gone into church mode or tower mode. So we're going to have this kind of window here, same idea over on this side. Giving myself some really awful perspective to work with. And we're just going to be like looking up at this scene. So we got this top view. And I guess it's really tempting, isn't it? When we're like imagining stuff to do, it's really tempting to always just do a scene which would be out in front of us. But yeah, why not just imagine looking at the top roofs of a row of houses or something like that. Here's a churchy window, which I tried my best, I think, to turn into a not churchy window. Let's try over here. Oh, this is bigger. I'm struggling. I'm going to use a really bold pen. This is a pen with a really bold nib. So this will get very much the definition of the ink flowing. There we go. Now I can't faff around so much. And what we can do real inky contrast. There we go. Feel happier just doing this. That's better. Poof, up there. Down here, get some little suggestions of texture in. Oh yeah, let's get some bricks. That's a good idea. Just following your mind, or I'm following my mind, or I'm whittering away and things are happening. So we've got little suggestions of big stones forming the sort of skeleton of our church-like building. The other hatching in the window. Is there anything else we can add on here? We could add little ruffles, couldn't we? There's often little ruffles coming down. Yeah, that's good fun. And let's get some, like a sense of tiles. You can look at this big pen. The big pen, big marks, fills up that dead space with so much ease. Just instantly makes it interesting. Now I feel like, oh, could we see something else in the distance? Maybe we just get like the tops of some roofs in here. Just like that, with some little windows creeping out. Tiny bit of hatching, send them into distance a bit. Get some more like stacked up roofs over here as well. Just creeping into the scene. And then let's do something silly. We'll have a cloud just over here. And then we'll have another one there. I'm right with that as well. Now the thing about creativity is, as you get tired, as you do more creativity, you get less creative. So this is going to be our last scene. Then we're going to have a little look at all of the ones we've done, do little touch-ups and see if we can recreate them or enhance their creativity. I don't know what the term is. Now here I'm going to go, because I can feel myself running out of juice. I can do something I feel really comfortable with, and that is, of course, a lighthouse. Lighthouse is easy for drama. They've got natural kind of cliff formations which we can dream up really nicely. They sort of sit there proud. And then if we want, we can just relax and get all inky and slowly add loads of textures. We can make rocks going out into the sea. Let's get some sea textures in there as well. A little bit of a tree or bushes or something climbing up there, and then we'll go back to the rocks. And let's get really hatchy. So I'm gonna really sort of make this a bit moody over here. Hatching, ink textures, very repetitive. It's another good thing to do when you're feeling a bit tired, but you still want to feel productive and creative. Yeah, little circles, little cubes, again moving back to what I want to be rocks. And restating some of those contours just a little bit. A bit more vertical hatching here, just to show that this vertical surface is coming down to the sea. A bit on here as well. Maybe we should have a path again, just leading us. Don't know if that works as a path or not. There we go, a little bit of boldness into our lighthouse. I like that. Need to give myself a break in terms of over-judging things, because this explodes my head a bit sometimes. It's like trying to do things, trying to be clever, you know, trying to not look silly. It's tiring. So you just need to recognise that. Let yourself off for the perfection and just be like, you know what, I actually quite like how I built that up. And yeah, from a reference, I'm sure I could do a job which looked a little cleaner or whatever. It's not from reference. It's from a nightmare. No, it's from it's from my head on a day when I've been busy all day, filming and editing all day, painting all day along with that. And now I'm just doing something light-hearted. A few splashes of blue in there. Right, now we're going to let that one dry. We're going to bring our constellation together. And I'm going to jump between them. What can we add? So this is a bit flat. This is our first one, wasn't it? So let's come in and deflatten it. We'll add some extra red in a couple of places. just round like that. Kind of missing something in the foreground, I think, so bring that in there a bit more. Really just go mad with the splashes. And I think a bit more pen just will neaten up what I've done with the colours. And this will turn it into a bit of an illustration. It'll be very flat, especially with the silly colours, but hopefully the vision will come to life. And again, just try this kind of thing. Something's not quite popping, give it a really bold line. Yeah, we'll lose that sort of sketchy look a bit, but we'll gain something else. It's not my favourite thing to do, but it is something I do quite often when I've sort of gone too far. Now, let's swap this one for here. I like what's happened there now. Brave and bold. Here, I like the colours already. So I'm just going to add a few little touches contrasting black. Like this, for example, underneath our fence. You know what? Do you remember at the beginning where I said you had to sign them all? Oops. This one I'm not going to touch. Oh, he says that. Go on then. Let's see if we can do something here. Let's see if we can kind of again use our bold pen. Maybe we'll just add a few more people at the same time. Just make it confident. Yeah, we intended everything here, didn't we? That's what we're saying with a bold pen. There's the path coming forward. Who knows if that's better or not, but it's done now. We'll get our Ferris wheel as well. Jeez, I'm going to be seeing like Ferris wheels in my sleep. This one, oh, what do we do? Not much. Add a little frame to our window. Oh, he's going to be alright. He's alright. This one I do like. Again, actually, all we need, a little crisp up of these trees in the distance. A little crisp up of this guy as well. Just where we let those blues and greens come together. I love what's happening. We've just got to be aware that that does take away the structure a bit. So if you have the colours without a firm edge, like here, a nice firm inky edge can often be really helpful. So just bringing that idea in. Get my fence. There's a lot of fences in my work, isn't there? A lot of fences. And he's happy. So let's sign that one. Let's sign this one because I forgot as well. And then my last one. My most comfortable one, my most tired one in many ways. And there we go. A little bit of neatening up. But this one, I like the sketchy look. I like what's happening. So let's just sign it. And there you go. Hopefully that gave you a bit of an idea, or hopefully just some confidence that you can sketch random nonsense from your imagination and it'll probably work. It'll be alright. And it's quite fun.